What if the United States Navy could extend the reach of every single fighter jet on its carriers without putting a single additional pilot at risk? What if a drone could fly out over the ocean, meet an F-A-18 Super Hornet mid-air, and hand it thousands of pounds of fuel, silently, autonomously, and from the deck of a carrier? That's not science fiction anymore. On April 25th, 2025, that future officially began. Before we get into what happened on that historic morning in Illinois, let's make sure you understand exactly what the MQ-25A Stingray is, because this aircraft is unlike anything the Navy has ever put in the air. The MQ-25A, officially called, the Stingray, is the United States Navy's first operational, carrier-based unmanned aircraft system. Say that again, carrier-based. This drone is designed to launch from, operate with, and land back on a Navy aircraft carrier. That is a technological challenge that took years of engineering, testing, and coordination between the US Navy, Boeing, and Lockheed Martin to even attempt. Its primary mission: aerial refueling. The Stingray is a flying gas station. Its job is to extend the combat range of the carrier air wing, the group of manned fighters, bombers, and support aircraft that operate from a carrier. Right now, when a Super Hornet needs fuel over the ocean, another crewed aircraft has to fly out and deliver it. That ties up a manned fighter in a support role. The MQ-25A takes over that mission entirely, freeing up manned aircraft to focus on combat. Here's the strategic problem the MQ-25A is designed to fix, and it's bigger than most people realize. The combat radius of a carrier-based fighter jet is limited. Once you launch from the carrier, you have a certain amount of fuel. That determines how far you can go, how long you can fight, and how far from the carrier you can project power. In a conflict in the Pacific, say around Taiwan or the South, China Sea, that range limitation could be a critical vulnerability. China knows this, Russia knows this, and the US Navy knows this. By deploying the MQ-25A, the Navy can dramatically extend the effective strike range of every manned aircraft in the carrier air wing. Fighters fly further, missions last longer. The carrier itself can operate at a safer distance from threats. It's a strategic force multiplier, and it doesn't require putting an additional pilot in the air to do it. Rear Admiral Tony Rossi, who leads the Program Executive Office for Unmanned Aviation and Strike Weapons, said it best. The MQ-25A directly enables our manned fighters to fly further and faster, and he called it, quote, vital to the future of naval aviation. So what actually happened on April 25th, 2025? At 10:49 in the morning, Central Time, the MQ-25A Stingray lifted off from Boeing's facility at Mid-America Airport in Mascoutah, Illinois. The aircraft flew for approximately 2 hours, and during that time, US Navy and Boeing Air Vehicle pilots controlled it entirely from the ground. Let me be clear about something. There was no one inside that aircraft. Not a pilot, not a co-pilot, nobody. Every maneuver, every adjustment, every decision during that flight was made remotely from a ground control station called the Unmanned Carrier Aviation Mission Control System, or MD-5, which uses Lockheed Martin's MDCX system at its core. During those 2 hours, the test team ran through a series of critical evaluations. They validated the aircraft's basic flight controls, checking how it responds to commands, how stable it is in the air. They monitored engine performance, making sure the power plant behaves exactly as designed. And they tested the aircraft's handling characteristics, how it moves, how it responds, and how it behaves across different conditions. Everything checked out. This wasn't just a successful test flight. It was proof that the systems, the software, the hardware, and the people operating them are ready to take the next step. Now, let's talk about the technology, because this thing is genuinely impressive. The MD-5 ground control station is the brain of the entire operation. It's where the air vehicle pilots, or AVPs, sit and control the Stingray in real time. That control station has to maintain reliable, low-latency communication with the drone across long distances and in potentially contested electromagnetic environments. That's not a small engineering feat. Lockheed Martin's MDCX system inside that ground station is a modular, open architecture mission control platform meaning it's designed to be upgraded and adapted as technology evolves. That future-proofing is intentional. The Navy isn't just building a drone for today, it's building infrastructure for the unmanned carrier aviation of tomorrow. Boeing, as the prime contractor, designed the Stingray with carrier operations in mind from day one. It has to fit on a carrier deck. It has to survive the salt air and humidity of ocean operations. It has to handle carrier launches and arrested landings. The violent, brutal stops that carrier-based aircraft experience when they land. Building an unmanned aircraft that can survive all of that is no easy task. The MQ-25A also has a probe and drogue refueling system, a flexible hose that extends from the aircraft, allowing other jets to connect and take on fuel mid-air. That system has to work reliably, miles above the ocean, while both aircraft are moving at hundreds of miles per hour. So the first flight is done. What happens now? The integrated test team has a long road ahead. Their next priorities are ground, control station integration, making sure the MD-5 system and the aircraft are fully synchronized. They'll also be expanding the flight envelope, gradually testing the aircraft at higher speeds, higher altitudes, and in more demanding conditions to verify its performance parameters. Once those tests are complete, the Stingray will make a ferry flight to Naval Air Station Patuxent River in Maryland, also known as Pax River, the Navy's primary flight test facility. That's where the serious operational testing begins. Eventually, the MQ-25A will go through carrier qualification, landing on and launching from an actual aircraft carrier. When that happens, it'll mark a genuine turning point in the history of naval aviation. For the first time, an unmanned aircraft will become a permanent, operational part of a carrier air wing. Here's the big picture. The MQ-25A is a signal, a very loud one, to every military power watching. The United States is serious about unmanned systems at sea. It's serious about extending carrier power projection, and it's building the infrastructure now to operate drones alongside manned aircraft as a standard part of naval operations. As tensions in the Pacific continue, as adversaries develop longer-range anti-ship weapons designed to push carriers further from contested zones, the ability to strike at greater range becomes more critical than ever. The Stingray doesn't just solve a logistical problem, it's a direct answer to a strategic threat. The MQ-25A Stingray flew for the first time on April 25, 2025. 2 hours, no pilot on board, and a Navy that just got a whole lot more capable. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who care about this stuff. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and drop a comment. Do you think unmanned aircraft should be a permanent part of carrier operations? I want to hear your take. I'll see you in the next one.